everybody, Erico here. Hope you guys are doing well, because I am back with what? Another video. Subscribe, like this video, put your comments below. Let's just share in different various opinions as I dive into different topics pertaining to East Asia current events, as well as pop culture. Thinking about all of the people behind the scenes that go into K-pop and its glitz, flashing lights, and glamour, and seeing how all of this has captivated many people around the world. And it has caused people to think about these songs and how they pertain to their favorite idol, and how they have so much pride for their idol groups, or they're biased, as they like to say. And I think about the many songwriters that are behind these songs, and how you see little outlets here and there for these people, but you don't really get to see them be patted on the back for their hard work, especially non-Korean writers and producers.
We'll submit it to SM, and they'll either say thanks, we'll go with it, or they'll give us some notes on what to change. And we just sort of keep it going like that.
After you write the top line and record your vocals, do you also have to mix the vocals? Do you add, patches and stuff on top?
I like to mix it. I like to do as good a job as possible. So there are times you could submit a song with sort of gibberish on top because all they're looking for is a melody. But it's hard as a creator to just give just that. Like for me, I want to give like a full-on concept, strong title. I want my harmonies to be where they need to be, and I want to mix it to where they can hear it, and then submit it.
But you do not get people actually putting the dots together and saying, oh wow, so there's actually someone that goes beyond the language barrier, that talks about these concepts too, that are not even in the culture or in South Korea. Yes, this is definitely a thing, and it does make me feel disheartened a little bit when I look at people and they see me and they think like, oh, he's weird because he's like not one of those people that's like, oh, K-pop is better than American music, even though I used to be like that. Like, newsflash, like I really did used to be like that, where I was so into K-pop at one time that I was like, oh yeah, it's better than all genres of music, and you all just don't understand. You don't understand the truth and the testimony. But if you really look at what goes into making some of these songs, especially nowadays, but not just nowadays, we can go far back. It's like 80s and 90s into the early 2000s, and all of the people that their song was either used because it was for another artist and a Korean label heard, and they're like, oh, I think this would go well with our concept and our new group, so we gonna take it. Or even now, where there's actually consultants that work with these labels, and they'll write songs and they'll pitch it, and it's a long process because sometimes it can take months, and they'll wait and they'll wait. There are people that will write songs, and there'll be a label that will look at that song and be like, it doesn't really fit the concept, so we really don't know if we like it. Or hum something, make a melody, we see what we can do with it. Or you wrote the song, it's all in English, okay, we get someone to translate it, we just leave an English part here and there so that the core of the song is actually there. Sometimes the chorus itself is still just all in the song. And this is not to say that there aren't very amazing Korean producers as well, because there definitely is for years, and there always has been. But you also have to look at their influences, whether one of them being Korean American or one of them listening to a lot of music that is from the West. And even just that trickling down into K-pop artists, and how a lot of them in 1.2 seconds will be like, oh, my favorite artist is Tupac, my favorite artist is whatever legendary artist from the West. And this to me is amazing, and this is where we talk about influence and how influence definitely goes all around to many people, and how the West, whether you want to believe it or not or support it, definitely had a hand in K-pop, J-pop. You know, it's there because that influence was brought to these countries, to these places all around the world. And even if they didn't understand the language itself, they still picked up bits and pieces, still was humming these melodies.
천천히 둘, 셋, 넷. 너무 좋은데? 자, 라스트 마지막 한 번 더.
파이팅!
파이팅!
And that influence was brought to them, no matter if they even could see it or not. It's still brought to them through Korean Americans. It's still brought to them through the black choreographers, the black producers, the black writers that write these songs, and a lot of the labels continue to use them because they feel that this is a good song and it would appeal. Even though K-pop itself, I don't know if a lot of people think about it this way, no matter what, no matter how global it is, it started out being for Korean audiences. So that's where it's always going to be. It is more global now, but the one thing that is for K-pop only is definitely the concepts and the language. So they always try to keep that in there, but when you really dissect it, especially nowadays, you're actually listening to American music in Korean. I know someone was like, oh! It's the truth. Moment of silence. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it at all. I just think that call a spade a spade. You know, and it is what it is. There used to be people that would tell me like, oh, you listen to like black music just from Asian artists, and I never really thought about it. But now thinking back on it now, it's like, you might be onto something, because a lot of the music that even I like now from K-pop, like NCT, the NCT universe, as I like to say, they're doing just rap and pop, basically. And that's something like a style from the early 90s to the 2000s that's been in America for a while, and they just took it and they're doing it their own way. And it's okay to say that because they're good at what they do. I would argue, I heard someone say that they take what Americans have done or the West has done and they do it better. I don't know if I would say that, especially when you are so influenced by something that you take the singing style, the diction of the rapping, the flow, and the whole components of songs that have already been done and just redo it. I think it would be easy for you to poach this argument if you don't know music very well. But for people like myself and probably many others that know music could sit and dissect the song and see where there were definitely major influences. And there are probably even Korean people that don't realize it either, because if you're Korean and you don't speak English or you don't really listen to American music like that, you're gonna think that the overall sound is something new and fresh, when really it is just something that's been repackaged for the Korean audience. So this is something to really think about. I mean, shout out to all of the producers, everyone, the Korean ones, the foreign ones. You all work hard and I love it. You all are very talented, and please continue. I just wish that there would be more love for a lot of the non-Korean people that work behind the scenes as well, and acknowledge them, you guys, because they're there and they work hard, and without them, some of your biases and your idol groups would not be where they are right now. And everyone wants to work with BTS. I mean, of course. So you guys, this is a lot to think about. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also a blog on East Asian pop culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real, and I will always be back. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.